national incident based reporting.
You can actually have a burglary and not have anything taken.
Well, yeah, and then we had several of those where the homes were vacant, but,
And
so,
depending on the circumstance, it may not be a burglary, it may just be a criminal trespass versus a burglary if you can't show the information.
Well, and
so we're moving to that.
I think Lieutenant Liebenthal mentioned that a lot of these are happening not just in Shorewood, but they're like with the carjacking. I mean, it was a gang who had a certain way of doing things, and it was in Tulsa, it was in Menominee Falls, it was all over. So I don't know that people tend to focus just on Shorewood, but really it seems like there's a certain type of criminal activity going on that's affecting the whole region, and it just gets swept up in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually how we work with the Metro Violent Gang Task Force along with there's another task force that deals with property crime. Okay, yeah. I would say the vast majority of the time, they're all interrelated, and it's connected to multiple things that are happening. And we can't get in, I don't want to get into details of, I don't want to compromise the cases that we have out there, but and the reason why, of those 26 that we talked about, I don't know if we broke them down, but a majority of those were unlocked in the beginning of the year. This particular, and I think that's why it made people really nervous, and I completely understand that it was the forced entry that I think that panicked people. And unfortunately, I think disclosed and everything is that this particular group was their method. And that's not typically what we see with the average burglary here. It's usually an unlocked door. We had the guy, a couple where they came in when they were home over this last summer. That was, the guy was just, a little different, and I don't think he was meaning to do any harm. He just was going in people's houses. So, we have those things. So, he has, so, like we always say, I always say one's too many, right? If it's your home, or it's someone it's too many. I understand that. But and I think that's why I wanted to give kind of that overall picture of what's going on. And you can digest it how you want and kind of look at it and make your own determination. But I think we feel as a police department, we're in pretty good shape as a community. And I think it's a lot to do with the involvement, right? People want to be, the one thing we didn't point out today is we've received probably, 100% increase in people calling us, right? We're getting a lot of suspicious people calls, which is fine. Because everyone I go to, all I'm thinking is I hope this turns out to be nothing, right? And we had one just the other day, and here, I'm gonna give you an example. This is kind of the quandrum people are in, right? We get a call, guy is taking items from the house. That's how it comes in, right? It's a vacant house, so that's kind of the MO that we've been worrying, so we're all flying over there. So we get there, and no one's there, and we look around the house. It's a house that's being remodeled, and there's nobody inside. You can see some tire tracks in the driveway because it was icy, you can clearly see there's tire tracks. We're like, okay, well, somebody was certainly here. Well, as we're there, a neighbor comes out and says, oh, did somebody call you? And we said, yes, the neighbor across the street called and said someone was taking stuff. And he goes, oh yeah, no, that was the electrician. But there was another guy that was taking stuff out of the dumpster that's in front of the house. He took out a snowblower, which is what reported that the person took. The person across the street said snowblower. But, so you have two different scenarios. One person that sees it and calls, the neighbor, he had all the information. The neighbor across the street had just a little bit of information. But I had somebody I didn't see it, but my wife said it was a pretty nice snowblower. Well, it was in the dumpster. I mean,
On the dumpster.
But she looked nice, but it probably didn't work. So, but here's the situation though. They saw everything and didn't call. So we need that person. We need them to call, and we probably would have gotten there when he was still there, right? Instead of the neighbor across the street that probably took a little bit of. And everybody does this, and I do it too. I'll see something, I'm like, God, do I get involved, do I not get involved, do I want to give all my information, do I want to go through all this, I'm trying to get to somewhere, I don't want to, blah, blah. So even I go through that when I'm off duty. So we just ask you don't have to leave your name, just call up and say, hey, I think there's something suspicious, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not giving my name, bye. And that's good enough, really, it is. I don't want to be, you know, we'd rather have you give us some information, but that's okay if you don't. We'd rather get some and just go and check it out. You know, we are very good, and I want to emphasize this, we are very well trained, and we understand that a large majority of these are not going to be anything. And when we get there, we treat the people not as necessarily a suspect right away. We say, hey, what's going on? We got a call, and we talk it through. You know, obviously if he's running from us, that's a different story, but we really, we understand that, and so we try to work those situations out before the person feels bad because somebody called on them. So.
And the others here, we do have people who will call and they'll say, I would like for someone to call me back. And when the officers are available, they will call back and they will. This is what we found, this is what we had. You know, and we understand. People want to know what the results were of what they reported. And we may not be able to do it instantaneously because we might be still dealing with the situation, but as soon as we're available, we'll have somebody call back. I don't know, this is what we had, this is what we found. Because we appreciate the call, we appreciate the information, and we don't want to deter people not to call. We want to encourage people to call.
So do you have a list of those people like Hazel who calls every week or something and you mark that name down because you say it's Hazel again?
That would be
No,
housekeeping.
I'm kidding, but I do want to say, one thing that I find that's really effective as a deterrent, well, I guess I don't know because I haven't been robbed, but is leaving a radio on, and not just music,
Excellent, yes.
but talk radio. I have NPR on all the time, and I think somebody would think somebody's home.
Yeah, radios, TVs, if you can leave those on, even if you set them on timers where,
Yeah.
you know, they come on at a certain time and go off, or, you know, if you have timers in your house, you can set it up.
Or if you have teenagers, they take care of it.
Yeah, but you can set it up so that you have
Or leave
lights
everything
turning
on.
on and off throughout the house at different times or coinciding with being on in one room and being on in the other, but now turning off an element. It gives someone from the outside the appearance that you're home, you're moving around, you're turning stuff on and off.
Yeah, it
And the
decreases the risk.
And the number one deterrent that was done in the study is a dog.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Unless there's any other questions, I know you guys got some more stuff to do. Call us if you have a question, we'll put that stuff online, we'll get the crime report stuff out, so hopefully we'll get some feedback
you.
on that. So,
Thanks, Chief.
you bet.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.